Now, the flood response and warning systems will be a big part of what state lawmakers talk about in the special legislative session that started today. But today, well, today was all about redistricting, right? Yeah. Joining me now to talk all about what's on tap for this special session is Scott Braddock, editor of Harvey Kronberg's Quorum Report. Scott, thanks so much for being with us.
Good to see you, Ashley.
So, you know, in the House, we'll just start with that pretty humdrum and nothing special going on over there today.
Nothing today there, but in the Senate, they're putting the pedal to the metal to start working on President Trump's directive that he wants to see 5 new Republican congressional seats drawn in Texas. It's a tall order. I don't think they can get that many, but make no mistake, this is a national power struggle playing out here in Austin because fundamentally this is about whether President Trump's going to get impeached again. If the Democrats take the House, they take the majority in this next midterm next year, you know, the folks around President Trump are telling him that he can expect to be impeached again by the person who would then be Speaker Hakeem Jeffries, that there will be nonstop investigations of his administration by House committees, and Democrats want a chance to offer what they would say is some balance in government. Right now we have a unified Republican government in Washington, and the Democrats want to show up and be the loyal opposition if the Democrats here don't you know, go along with what Republicans want to do as far as redrawing these maps. If they you know, if they do the nuclear option at some point of actually walking out, quorum breaking, trying to stop this, you'll have all eyes on Austin, and that's already starting to happen.
Right. So let's take a step back, and we should know, we say nothing major happened in the House. All of the House members showed up, and that's significant because there was so much chatter about whether or not they would break quorum. They made it very clear today. The Democrats held a news conference before everything got started saying, look, everything is on the table here, and we're not saying what we won't do.
Yeah, and again, the stakes couldn't be higher on this. This is a national struggle, and unlike some of the quorum breaks in the past, I know folks have said, well, the Democrats, well, they tried that before. They left Austin, and they weren't able to stop the Republicans from doing whatever it is they wanted to do. In 2021 and in 2023, there were these fights, and then going back to 2003, there was a big quorum break at that time, but Republicans eventually got what they wanted. What's different this time is that you might have national Democrats really willing to put the resources into helping state Democrats with that fight. Think of it this way. If they paid for all of the fines, because there was a $500 per day fine for quorum breaking, if the national Democrats step up with money for that, it's $15,000 per month per member, and then on top of that, they'd have to pay for a hotel for them to stay in and all of that, all their travel expenses. It could be $4.5 or $5 million. That's what they would have to come up with. But think of this, if there are more congressional districts that are redrawn in a way that is competitive for Republicans and Democrats in the election next year, each of those would cost for each side something like $10 to $15 million. So helping the state Democrats now might be a bargain.
Might pay off later. But I want to talk about this. If those races are competitive, that's important because obviously, you know, I feel like sometimes lawmakers try to act like gerrymandering is not a thing. Gerrymandering is obviously a thing. It's and it's right here out in the open, right, where we're going to change maps. But the districts, there are some Republicans who are not on board with changing the districts because they are drawn very narrowly, particularly when we talk about those Houston districts.
When it's a fight that is one that President Trump's inserting himself into the middle of, think about the fight over the big, beautiful bill in Washington. There are a lot of Republicans who know that there are things in that bill that are not good for their own constituents, like some of the cuts to Medicaid, et cetera. But they're voting for it anyway because they've got to win one for Trump. That's the overall dynamic within the Republican Party right now. You don't want to be on his bad side, right? And on this, take it to it's another extreme on this point, because this would be something, as you point out, it would actually be bad for those office holders. Some of those members of Congress who are Republicans might have to spend that much more and work that much harder to stay members of Congress if the maps are redrawn in such a way that it gives the Republicans a shot to try to hang on by maybe picking up 1 or 2 extra seats. But there's a ripple effect, as you suggest, where those other Republican districts, especially in the Houston area and in DFW as well, if they start messing with the lines up there, it's my understanding that as many as 6 to 9 incumbent Republicans could be put in danger coming up in the next election.
You know, I thought it was interesting. One of the points that was raised on the Senate floor with the debate now is these maps are likely being drawn by someone who is not a Texan, someone who lives up in Virginia, doesn't really know Texas politics like that.
Well, we've seen this before in the 2003 redistricting that came straight from Washington. Those maps did, especially for the members of Congress. Same thing this time around. That map will probably come straight from the White House. President Trump was on a conference call with some Republicans last week where he was outlining the specific districts he wants to see changed. He said one of them might be in the Austin area, but he didn't say which. And he mentioned some of those districts in Houston and the Valley as well.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how it all shakes out. But do you get a sense that maybe it won't happen? That maybe some of the Republicans in the legislature are hearing from their colleagues in Washington, and maybe they won't let it happen?
I was just talking with a freshman Democratic member of the House this afternoon who asked a similar question. Is there any chance this doesn't happen? And the cynic in me, and you can just take that as the person who's watched this many times,
right.
It's redistricting. The minority is going to get steamrolled, and it's going to be bad. This is one of those situations where microphones for Democrats are cut off on the Senate floor, and you could even see the Speaker of the House lock the members within the House chamber. I was telling one of those members that they have those bathrooms that are right there on the House floor. Seems like a luxury until you realize that the reason those are there is because you might not be able to leave.
Yeah, they can lock you in. Will be interesting to see how it all shakes out. Scott, thank you so much for being here with us.
It's my pleasure. Thank you.